Pues aquí estamos otra vez. Esta vez vamos a pasar la escena. Porque claro, ya está al final de la otra y no vamos a volver a verla, la verdad.
Zach, I haven't been on stage like this since elementary school. I'm not some tree in the wind this time either. That was a tough role. I was a piece of scenery. Bright red tree.
Thank you all for coming today. Getting right down to business. Agent Morgan from the Federal Bureau of Investigations wishes to speak with you.
Good afternoon. I'm Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Some of you are already aware by now of the tragic murder of Anna Graham. Truly a heinous, terrible crime. I've come to this town to solve the murder of this young, beautiful girl, and to bring the one responsible to justice.
Música tensa. Parece bastante normal.
Unfortunately, incidents like these have a tendency to happen again. I asked to have you gathered here so I can share some advice in order to minimize the risk of further fatal incidents. Firstly, please, stay away from any dark, dangerous, isolated places. Those of you with children, especially of Anna's age, please guide your children away from such places at all costs. Secondly, avoid going out when it is raining. Now, I've heard the folklore story of the Raincoat Killer. There is a chance that the murderer is mimicking the story. Women should also be especially careful. I would hate to see more victims.
Who's the fashionably late one?
That's Carol, Thomas's sister. She owns a bar.
Thomas's sister.
Excuse me. So, as I have said, avoid going outside when it is raining. Young women should be especially careful. Report anything or anyone suspicious immediately. The murderer will be caught and brought to justice. But you must all remain on guard until we do so. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
When paying for our sins, we must not frown. The loss of Anna was for that debt. When purple fog covers our town, we'll all wander in hell, I fret. So says Mr. Stewart.
Sure knows how to steal thunder. Well then, Zach, let's ask some questions before all these guys leave.
Entonces, ¿la hermana de Thomas es la de los tacones? Sí, llevaba viendo esa taza de café un rato y quería. No.
Quite a performance. Mysterious and very poetic. But I don't think many of your audience appreciated it.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, the purple fog appears with rain, soiling and ruining our town. The evil does not drain. Find out why the town is soiled. Remove the source from which it boiled. Then and only then your case is solved. But for this to happen, to solve the crime, the proper must do the proper at the proper time. It is not yet mine, that is, Mr. Stewart's time, not mine. But if you, Mr. York, find the right timing to chat with me, that is, with Mr. Stewart, may that be. Informative and fruitful you will see. So says Mr. Stewart.
So, Harry, you know something.
¿Podrías decírmelo ahora?
But
Sí.
there's some reason why you can't tell me yet. Is that what you're trying to say?
Cut the poetic rubbish, Harry, and tell us what you know. We can force you to talk, you know.
Esto es lo suyo, sí. ¿Tienen los ojos del mismo color? George y Harry.
Mr. Francis York Morgan.
Qué raro.
Pay close attention to the signs, the omens, and the premonitions.
Ajá.
Small
Hasta los
they may
mortales.
be, they still are finds, and helpful to your investigations. So says Mr. Stewart.
Thanks for the warning, Harry. But don't worry. Me and Zach, we know what we're doing.
Menos en lo que envuelve la pesca. Si son dardos, somos hachas. Vale.
Agent York, are you finished asking questions yet?
Niet.
When you're done, let me know. We'll all get dinner.
Ah, o sea que pasa, vale. El día de hoy es completamente perdido, pasa todo.
Agent York, your words really made me think about Anna's death again. How could one do such a terrible thing? I'm still in shock.
Thomas, I forgot to ask. You don't have a tattoo on your back, do you?
Tattoo? I do, actually. But why?
Could you show it to me, please?
What? Now? Here?
Yes, please. This is vital for our investigation.
¿Cómo que no podemos ni ir a la habitación de atrás o algo? No sé. La que tiene el detrás.
Okay. If it's gonna help you any.
Aha. Well, I'm wondering who G is now, but aside from that,
Did it tell you anything?
it told me that you didn't kill Anna.
Of course not. What are you saying?
You ought to see that tattoo, Zach. A big heart with an arrow through it and Love G in the center. I don't know when he got that done, but we've all been through the 80s.
Love G.
I can't believe you thought I was a suspect, Agent York. I'm still in shock.
No. 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 Bueno. Recordadme si alguien más con la letra G, no me suena. Sigo atento al JK del café del principio. No, FK del café. A ver si aparece alguien con FK.
Agent Morgan, here's your chance to get to know some of the townsfolk. Don't let it go to waste.
No te preocupes, sí. ¿Qué nos estás contando, G? ¿Eh? ¿Tienes algún secretillo oscuro por ahí? Mm. Love G. Vete a saber. No creo, ¿no? Estoy de coña, evidentemente tiene que ser otro G. Me imagino que no. Será Love Gangster Rap o algo. ¿Es Snake? Bueno, es Big Boss cuando ya. Pero sin cortarse la mano.
You're the FBI agent, are you?
Sí, soy yo.
I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan.
I'm the general. I fought for my country in the Vietnam War.
A real-life war hero. So why are you living here?
Soldier, this is my hometown. After a man returns from war, there's no place to go other than his hometown. Your little speech, you mentioned the raincoat killer.
Was that a problem?
You imbecile. The raincoat killer's no myth, not mere folklore, not a fairy tale. It's based on actual events that happen in this town.
It is. I'm interested. Can you tell me more about this?
You kids today don't even know how to ask for something right.
Estoy investigando un
Soldier, if you want to
asesinato.
hear more, you come to my office.
¡Investigación de asesinato!
He literally exudes raw power, Zach. Despite the credibility issues, we should give him a visit. One thing, though. Calls himself a general, but isn't that a sergeant's uniform?
Ah, ¿te has fijado en eso y nunca está obstruyendo una investigación de asesinato? Vale. Oye.
Agent York, you make any progress?
Of course, plenty. Tell me, Usha, when is Anna's funeral?
That's still undecided. Sally isn't really in any condition to do it right now.
Her mother? I don't see her here.
Anna was her sole reason for living after her husband was deceased. Well, she's probably huddled up at home.
Claro, la hemos visto en el bar, así que por lo menos está saliendo.
And I should probably take some time to pay her a visit.
Well, yes, you should. And I'd appreciate it if you could, too. But don't go too hard on her, okay?
Claro. La pobre mujer ya habrá tenido suficiente.
Are you getting closer to catching the murderer?
Hello again, Fiona. Good to see you here.
Well, Dr. Johnson told me to be here. He said it would be important.
Well, that was good advice. He may be young, but he seems like a wise man.
Oh, and he's a very hard-working person, too. Everyone thinks he's some kind of weirdo, but I don't think so at all. People don't understand why he's in the autopsy room all day, but I do. He's doing research to make the world a better place in the future. You know, he already made a fortune in LA with his career.
I did not know that.
You didn't? Oh, the doctor is a very rich man. He has a really big house over by the lake.
Ya hemos visto, sí.
Amazing, Zach. He must be loaded. Rich and young. A perfect combination.
But you don't get that feeling from him at all, do you? He doesn't show it. That's one of the things I like best about him.
Well, I could have been fooled if it weren't for you. Thanks for the valuable information, Fiona.
Hombre, lleva un collarcito de oro y una hebilla de oro, así que... Ya te digo, vive en una mansión. ¿Teléfono? ¿Teléfono? Lily Kid. Mío. Oh, teléfono. Bendito seas.
I've nothing to say to you.
I haven't asked you anything yet, Jack.
Shut it! I might open up if you introduce me to, I don't know, a Ben Franklin or two.
Oh, what a creature. Guess there's always someone like him in every town.
Me sigue cayendo bien, si os lo podéis creer. No puedo observarle. Quiero observarle. ¿Qué tienes que decir sobre él? La Bella y la Bestia en vivo y directo.
Hello again, Agent York. How are you?
Good, thanks. And you?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good today.
Well, that's good to hear. Do you have any information that could help me out?
Information? Sounds difficult and not my kind of conversation. Anyways, you should come by the gas stand again. I'll give you the best service in town.
Zach, perhaps you can tell me. Why did she bother coming here?
Sí, para flirtear contigo, creo. Escupe hasta aquí, la leche.
Jim, thanks for your help in the forest. How are Isaac and Isaiah?
They're fine.
They really seem to love their grandpa.
Well, I guess they do, son. I want to keep them away from the filth of the material world as much as I can. Their mother agrees, which is why she lets me take care of them so often.
And that's why I want you to solve this case quickly and go home. Those rumors about that scar of yours do more damage than good around here.
I guess I reek of the material world, don't I? I have to, in order to do my job. But I understand what you mean. I'd think the same if I was born in a place like this, Zach.
La expresión de George lo ha vendido.
Hey, mister, my pot is getting cold.
You are... who?
What are you saying? I'm Sigourney. Sigourney.
Sigourney. Okay. Now, what is the matter? Can you explain?
No time for chatting. I need to hurry. My pot is getting colder. Oh, you're useless.
Zach, we've met all sorts today, but really, she takes the cake. Amazing.
No podemos observarlas después de hablar con ella, es una pena.
Mr. Morgan, you're quite an impressive public speaker.
Really? Thank you, Polly.
You reminded me a little of a play I saw when I was younger.
What kind of play?
I'm talking about back when this place was still called the Mercury Theater. When I was young, I used to come here often with my husband. God rest his soul. We'd come on the weekend to see the latest play. He'd always pretend to be uninterested, but I could tell he was excited inside. He was just one of those kind of guys, really, thinking about it now.
Really, Polly? So what's your favorite play?
Oh, well, I like so many. There was one in particular, but I can't recall the name anymore. Oh, it was a very famous one, too.
Something by Shakespeare?
Oh,
Lisístrata.
No, nothing. One more bell that doesn't ring anymore. I've always been forgetful about the plays we used to see anyway. Oh, and my husband would get angry at me for forgetting what we saw. He'd go on for hours retelling what the play was about. His eyes were so sparkling, like a happy young boy.
I see. So, what's your favorite play?
Oh, I almost forgot, Mr. Morgan. We're going to have another guest soon. I have to get back and get things ready. Sorry for having to hurry away. I'll see you back at the hotel.
Zach, I think she could embarrass the toughest of the FBI's interrogators. She successfully avoided answering my question, Zach. Amazing.
¿Os habéis fijado en el detalle de que siempre habla más alto cuando está hablando con Polly? Pobre Lily, ¿cómo te aguanta?
Hey, York, you were rocking it large up there.
Was I? I haven't been on stage like that since elementary school.
You made me think, man, like, things can't go on like this. We need, like, some action or something. I was pretty psyched up, you know, before you got on stage. I was like, dude, a real psycho in town. Pretty sweet gig. But now, I mean, dude, that lunatic could be any one of us, man. I don't want to think of that whack job coming after my family. Makes me shudder all over, man. It was way too heavy. You'll catch him, right, FBI?
Of course. But you need to be able to take care of those you love, too.
You're right, man. Right on the level. I need to do what's right for my family, man. You lit my soul, man. Thanks, FBI.
Tienen una relación de colegas muy rara estos dos.
Hey, Lily.
Agent York, your speech frightens some of us a little. You should work on being more sensitive with words when talking to groups.
Really? I tried my best to be gentle. So, have you noticed anything strange or out of place recently?
Just Becky, really. She works part-time at the store. She's been acting strange recently.
Strange? How?
I took the boys along to visit her house today. I was just worried, you know, because she hasn't come into work at all after that incident. But she took in the boys and told me to wait outside. Something about a special secret between just the three of them. I just couldn't understand it.
Now that's interesting.
Huh.
Thank you, Lily. Perhaps we should give Becky a visit tomorrow, Zach.
O sea que Becky sabe algo de... Claro, del asesinato, porque Isaac y Sia son los principales y los primeros testigos, fueron los que encontraron el cadáver. Es interesante, no sé, igual me estoy equivocando, claro, como con lo de Love G, ¿no? Pero sí, me gusta esto porque tiene sentido. Mi madre me hacía haberse escrito un crimen, si os estáis preguntando cómo controlo tanto de esto. Me he visto Fair Play Whodunits a punta pala. Bonitos pantalones, tío.
I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York.
Wesley, owner of the gun store called Panda Bear. People around here call me the gunsmith.
Wesley, el AFK, el que nunca tiene la tienda abierta. Sí, hola. Llevo 3 días
Was
buscándote.
there something you want to ask me?
How do you make a living running a gun store in a place like this? I'd be worried because there can't be that many customers.
Worry gives a small thing a big shadow. I do gunsmith work in my shop, too. If you got the skills, the customers find you. All you need is a network.
I hope so.
Ah. Pero vende cosas él.
You've got quite a selection here. No wonder people come from all around.
Even today, a customer paid me to go to Seattle for some help. I just got back.
I see. Well, I'll be sure to visit your store sometime. I'd like for you to take a look at my gun.
Understood. Look forward to it. The shop will be open again tomorrow. It's usually open from 2000 to 0600. See you then.
Ah, abre por las noches. Nos explica cosas.
I'm U.S. Special Agent Francis York Morgan. I presume you are the owner of the diner that Anna worked at?
That's right.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about Anna Graham.
Did you notice anything strange about her prior to the incident? Nick, are you hiding something?
No, nothing.
You sure?
I'm sorry, but I don't like repeating myself.
Debe estar triste porque han matado a Ana.
I'm U.S. Special Agent Francis York Morgan. And you are?
Olivia, Nick's wife.
¿Te han hinchado los pómulos con Botox?
Anna worked at your husband's diner, right? What kind of girl was she?
Well, she was a very hard worker. A nice girl.
Did you ever see her acting strange?
Well, not really. But there was one thing. Well, you see, the diner closes when it rains. Many shops do that around here, as you might have heard. Anyway, Anna always seemed unfocused the day after it rained. And came in late, too. It was almost as if she used up all her energy the day before. Come to think of it, that was really strange. Did that legendary monster really kill her?
It wasn't a monster. Just a criminal. Criminal I'm going to catch and bring to justice.
Incluso con la poca barba que tiene ya queda significativamente mejor York. Creo que ya he hablado con todo el mundo. Ah, no.
Anna was an airhead.
What do you mean? Are you saying she was killed because she was an airhead? Or are you saying that she was an airhead for being killed?
I'm sure she's still an airhead, even in heaven. She changed her hair every day. If she lost a pound, she'd be ecstatic. Gain one, and she'd almost be in tears. She broke many, many plates every day at the diner, and she'd always have a smile on her face. Always having fun. Everyone looked at her and knew she was a cute, adorable, loving airhead. But they would be smiling right along with her. I wouldn't be surprised if the angels smiled with her too.
¡Ah! Por Dios.
Isaac and Isaiah said that Anna was a fairy of the forest. A goddess.
No puedes huir, claramente sabes algo. Vamos a interrogarla. Richard Quinn. Jack Quinton.
Good evening, Agent.
César, tenemos su cromo.
Good evening, Mr.
Brian, the gravekeeper. Brian.
Mr. Brian. I like the retro look. Auditioning for Little Grave on the Prairie?
Anna. Oh, she was so beautiful. Too soon. Too soon to go to the grave. So sad. So sad.
Sí.
I totally agree. That's why I'm here, looking for the one who did it. Were you close to her?
Anna, her smile, so warm. Anna, blonde hair, so bright.
Este está en Júpiter. No nos va a decir nada útil.
There's a graveyard somewhere in town, Zach. I'm not excited about the idea, but maybe we should at least check it out.
Ya le echamos un vistazo. Había una tumba abierta. Y un hueso. Qué mala memoria tienes, York. ¿Qué harías sin mí?
Quint, you're here too. I didn't think you were the town meeting kind of guy.
A friend of mine was killed, you know, man? I'm not letting this one go quietly. I'll do anything to help you catch the scumbag who did this.
Thank you. But vigilance is not justice. Nothing good will come from desiring simple revenge.
Oh, come on, I'm not that stupid. But I'm frustrated a bit just thinking that there's nothing I can do about it.
We each have a role, purpose in life, a raison d'etre. Don't forget that.
I know. Just don't preach to me. You're sounding like my old man.
Zach, wow. I'm in shock like a weasel in an electric chair. You just made me realize that I must be getting old.
So, finding your way around okay?
Yes, pretty much. But some people are hard to get along with.
People problems, huh? I thought city folks were used to things like that. There's lots more people in the city than there are here.
Well, that's true. But I started simplifying things a bit. Here's my new way of thinking. It's simple, really. There's only 3 types of people. Criminals, victims, and investigators. Everyone else are just vegetables. Vegetables called other people.
You really are strange.
Richard me cae bien.
Agent Morgan, I'd like to let everyone go home now. Let's go outside.
Ya debemos haber hablado con todo el mundo. Uy, Gina. Seguirá lloviendo, me imagino.
Well then, Agent York, do you have any plans for this evening?
I was going to head back to the hotel and go over my notes. I need to contact HQ and give a progress report, too.
Okay, then let's call it a day here.
Sounds good.
Contact my office when you finish your report. We'll pick you up tomorrow morning. Diane, the owner of the art gallery, should be back soon.
All right, then. Let's do that.
Hold on, Agent York. We're going out to eat at Nick's Diner. Would you like to come with us?
The diner? That might be nice.
Thomas is a great cook, but Nick is the real deal. No visit to Greenvale is complete without eating at the A&G.
A very appealing proposition. Zach, what do you think? We can always go back to the hotel after eating dinner, or go directly back to the hotel. You decide, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, directamente. Bueno. No quería saltarme la escena.
I've been sheriff here for a long time now. And this is the worst murder I've ever seen.
Our town is a little odd in some ways, but it's usually a peaceful place.
We had our fair share of cases, but just the regular stuff. A high school kid shoplifting from the milk barn, maybe. Or some hot-headed kids fighting, fueled on liquor. Nothing more than that.
Agent York, what kind of cases have you dealt with in the past?
Not much different from those you've just mentioned. The case I was on until last month, well, the guy killed 7 girls in a 3-month period. He sawed their heads off from the neck and took them back to his house. He cleaned the skulls up and used them as utensils in his daily life, to eat from or as a urine cup. He hated women. That was his way of dealing with it. He'd fill skulls with ice, cola, and rum, then he'd down it in one gulp. For him, that was a holy ritual. The question of his mental state was the pivotal point in the court case.
Oh, man.
For me, he was insane. 100%. Drinking from the skulls, well, that is one thing, but those he had used to relieve himself, he would then just use them to drink from, too. Yeah, that was too much for me. It's just not sanitary.
Not sanitary. That's probably not the problem for most of us. What else?
Ah, yes. An ingenious law school student raped over 800 victims. That was a nasty one.
Thank you, Agent York. Now, let's talk about something else.
You don't want to hear anymore? That's a shame, isn't it, Zach? I was just about to get to the good part, too.
Sounds like you live in a totally different world. I mean, you're like an elite agent who just jumped out from a movie or something. In your eyes, we must look like we're just playing cops and robbers. I give up. I can't compete with you.
Don't say that, Emily. The cases you have solved are all full-fledged crimes. A crime is a crime. Size doesn't matter. There is no big and small. Crimes always have a criminal and a victim. No victim will ever welcome a crime, no matter what its size. So, fundamentally, there is no difference in size.
Well said, Agent Morgan. We work day and night to preserve peace and order in this town. You understand that, right?
Of course. But still, I don't view shoplifting and Anna's murder as the same level of crime.
Me neither. I never even dreamt that such a thing could ever even happen in this town. I keep on expecting to see Anna here in this diner, waiting on tables.
Vaya, hombre. Qué cambio de humor, la leche.
Excuse us, Agent Morgan. We should have made dinner a more uplifting experience. Let's call it a night.
Okay. Good night, then.
Pobre Tomás, la leche. ¿Habéis visto cómo ha dejado lentamente George la hamburguesa después de escuchar los urinales usados como vasos de bebida? A las 10:30. ¿Dónde está el coche aquí? Por lo menos ya no llueve. Igual podemos ver si este hombre tiene armas decentes o no sé. Claro, no creo. Porque ya nos ha enseñado lo que llevaba y era... básicamente la metralleta que ya tenemos. Por lo menos el traje de flores ya estará limpio. Seguro que se arrepienten de haber llevado a York. Les ha arruinado la cena. Bueno, la primera parte. supone que tenía cromos aquí. Una misión por fin. Sí, absolutamente nada decente.
You've got quite a selection here. No wonder people come from all around.
Compliments do nothing. I strive to meet my ideals. Others may judge my results.
The words of a true craftsman. Your job must be your hobby.
No, I have another hobby.
You do? Aside from work? Tell me then, what is it?
It's something special. Since I was a kid, I always liked to collect cards.
Cards? Like trading cards?
That's right.
That reminds me. I got this one after I came to this town.
This is a precious one. Where did you get it?
I picked it up around here somewhere. I didn't really think much of it.
I see. Then how about a trade?
A trade?
Here's an idea. As a collector, I just love looking at rare cards. I'd love to take a look at the cards you have. I won't take them from you. And I'll give you something, depending on how many you show me.
You'll pay me just to look at my cards. You really must be a card freak, huh?
Bueno, mientras no me las quites.
Will you show me your cards?
Sí, ningún problema.
Of course.
You've got more than 8. I've never seen any of them before. I appreciate you showing them to me. Here's a little something, as promised.
Ah! Genial.
If you find any new cards, come show them to me, will you?
No sé si tengo más para cumplir el siguiente nivel.
Wait. Looks like you got a few more cards. Show them to me.
Ah, directamente.
Looks like you have more than 16 here. That's very impressive. I appreciate you showing them to me. Here's a little something, as promised.
¿Otro? Ah, descuentos.
Hold on to it, okay? If you find any new cards, come show them to me, will you?
Aquí ya no creo que lo cumpla. Muy bien. Claro. Suponía que estaría cerrado. Pero quería guardar. Muy bien. Entonces supongo que la idea es que estés por aquí hasta las 12 y luego ya duermas 9 horas. Entonces está todo abierto y no tienes que perder nada de tiempo. Ya entiendo ya. Vamos a guardar porque Quint ya habéis visto las cosas que hace.
¿Ya?
Anna?
Está totalmente ida. Pobre mujer.
Anna?
En fin, espero que remonte antes del final del juego. Este hombre estaba en el hospital antes.
Hey!
El asesino, no.
Hey!
Lleva una coleta atada. Es la marca de un buen tío. No, pala extra, genial. Bien, creo que hemos terminado aquí. No había contenido. Podríamos ir a ver a los policías. Igual tienen algo. Ahí estás. Genial, el desguace está abierto.
Zach, we can take a rest if you're tired.
Ahora que está el desguace abierto, ahora que podemos ver algo de contenido, no.
Hmm?
Now then, young fella, how do you feel about your current vehicle?
My vehicle? It's a piece of crap, but I'm not here to talk about that.
Then how about a little treasure hunt? Listen up, young man. My junkyard is actually a mountain of treasure. All kinds of treasure lies in those mountains of junk. The problem is, there's so many, I've lost track of where everything is.
Uh-huh.
You've caught on already. I can see it in your eyes. I need you to head out in the yard and find certain things for me. If you help me out, I'll customize your car a little.
What are you talking about?
Didn't I tell you to shut up and listen to your superiors? Now, will you do it or not?
I don't see any reason to refuse.
Well said. First, I'll need some low gear parts. With that, I'll be able to boost the engine of your car. You'll find one around E5. Go! Don't just stand there, get going!
Genial, un coche nuevo. Oh. Vaya. Ya veo, muy organizado todo. Debería estar por aquí. Ah, ya veo. Aquí estás. Me gusta como ha dicho que hace un día perfecto para cazar tesoros. Cuando son las 10 de la noche. Pero vamos, no estamos aquí para quejarnos. Estamos aquí para estar encantadísimos de que por fin podemos cambiar de coche. Y hacer side content. Side content. ¿Cómo decimos eso en español? Por cierto, contenido no esencial. Es lo mejor que se me ocurre porque contenido lateral. Ya está.
This is it. This'll save your life someday, son.
You sure know how to exaggerate.
You imbecile. Engine boost is vital for bringing back soldiers alive from war.
Engine boost?
Of course. Engine boost is the basis of everything. Let me tell you a war story, son. I was leading my unit at the very front line. Things were bad, and sanitary conditions were worse. Endless guerrilla attacks were stripping us of our manpower. Everyone was tired to their limits. There was one sergeant who really rubbed me the wrong way. The boys like to call him Crybaby Timothy. He really gave me headaches, I can tell you.
How?
Just by breathing. His posture was bad. He was weak.
Slow, easily distracted. I have no idea who thought he was capable of combat in a war zone. He endangered the lives of every member of the unit. Stomach pains. The worst stomach ache ever. Every one of us. It was just cooking. He was using food that was contaminated. I flew into the dugout toilet like an Apache chopper returning to base. I have to tell you, it was a close call. My engine was boosting. And that's what got me there safely, right in the nick of time.
What happened to the unit?
You really want to know? It was a terrible sight. Powerful, athletic men reduced to walking dead. Blinking like crazy, shaking with pain. Their confidence and self-esteem were all crushed. They almost didn't recover.
An interesting story.
So you see the need for engine boost now, do you? I'll keep my side of the promise and get to work on your vehicle.
Vale. Sí, tener un botón de turbo es importante.
Sergeant. Looks like it was sewn on something else before it was sewn onto his shirt. I wonder what that's all about.
I put in longer pistons and optimized your lower gears. That should add boost to your speed when you accelerate. But there's still plenty of stuff I can do to make your car go faster. Just come see me again and I'll customize your car a little more.
¿Podemos hacerlo ahora? Vaya, no parece que podamos hacerlo ahora. Tiene que ser otro día. Uf, una ranchera. La leche. Esto es significativamente mejor. Pero significativamente mejor. Es muchísimo más rápido que... No quiero ni imaginarme cómo de lento es el coche de policía si esto es un coche lento. Supongo que no podemos... Ya sabéis, tenía que probar. Nada. Muy bien. Al hotel. Bueno, no sé, con este coche ya siento que puedo ir a sitios. No sé si es que no tengo límite y puedo hacer lo que quiera el resto de mi vida o... Un sitio de pesca, genial. Vaya, me suena que aquí ya pesqué.
Zach, we'll finish our chat later. Let's take a walk around here.
Sí, definitivamente ya tengo el cromo de aquí. A ver si pican rápido y salimos de dudas. Un arma. Una hoz. Muy bien, y son las 11 de la noche. Me da igual que casi vuelque. Sigue siendo significativamente mejor que el otro. ¿Cerrado? ¡Abierto! ¡Por fin! No pensaba que abrieseis. Nunca. Pensaba que estabais sencillamente de decoración. Nada de mirar por la ventana. Solo vale para que te meta Crash.
¿Mm? ¿Mm?
Dejémosla terminar, claro. Bien. Técnicamente no puedes interrumpirla.
¿Mm?
Muy bien. Hay gusanos legendarios. Me parece que voy a hacer un poco de savescam. En el nombre de la ciencia. Voy a guardar, voy a dormir. Y veremos si el límite se pasa y te da un fallo en la investigación o qué. Mientras no entre ahí debería estar bien. Espero. No, te cuenta como que has entrado. Vaya. Typewriter, pues nunca lo sabremos.
Okay then, Zach. Let's go back over our progress. First, the victim, Anna's death. She was found hanging from a tree in the forest. She was cut open with a knife from her chest down to her stomach. That was the direct cause of death. The strangulation marks and skull fracture were caused after death. Her tongue was also bit off, and I found something inside her mouth. Do you remember what that was, Zach?
Semillas rojas, sí.
That's right. We found the same red seed in her mouth. According to Emily, it was raining when Anna was killed, but traces of tears were still evident on her face. Which means the perpetrator killed Anna under a roof in the lumber mill, and then carried her body into the woods after it stopped raining. We found numerous important pieces of evidence at the site of the crime. A total of 4 things. Knee prints in the grass, a wood chip with metal dust, a photo of a man with a tattoo on his back, and one other thing. Do you remember what that was, Zach?
Una aguja, un tacón.
That's right. A broken stiletto heel.
Mentira, era la aguja.
Aligning this with the other evidence suggests that 2 people came into contact with Anna's body prior to it being discovered by us. Those being the perpetrator who killed Anna and Miss Stiletto Heel. There is also the possibility that a third party carried Anna to the woods. That means we could be dealing with 3 people. 2 or 3 people. In any case, Miss Stiletto Heel may have vital information. We need to find her next. We didn't use forensic methods, but we're still closing in on the criminal. Have I forgotten anything? Ah, of course. The marks on her hand tell us that Anna was gripping something when she died. Do you remember that, Zach?
Yo sí.
What do you think she was holding on to?
No.
That's right. A round object. The marks on her hand suggest a peace mark. The man in the photo found in the woods had a tattoo of an upside-down peace mark on his back. These 2 could well be related. But we don't know for sure. Next, the townfolk. A few are worthy of special attention. Carol McLean, the singer and bar owner. She's Thomas's sister. Then there's Nick Cormack, the owner of the diner. Both of them seem to be hiding something. There's Diane, the owner of the art gallery, who's out of town. Then we have problematic, old, rich, and eccentric Harry. Both will be tough to crack. Well, we just have to go one by one. I've been thinking, one of the biggest rewards here is the fantastic food.
Enjoying food is cultural, and yet it's also a bit uncivilized. It's interesting how good food motivates me to work harder during investigations. Oh, and on Emily's back, it was strange to me. Hey, don't take that the wrong way, Zach. I wasn't getting all excited or anything. But it did make me feel strange. Nostalgic and sad almost. It's starting to rain. I think this case may take a while.
Sí, si no deja de llover. Ah. Hostias, pero esa voz.
I'll eat later.
You'll eat right now, young lady. You need to listen to your mother.
I want to hear the rest of the story.
Eat your lunch, and then take a nap. Then I'll tell you the rest.
But I want to hear it now.
There's no need to rush things. You must live your life at the pace that is right for you.
Honey, are you coming?
Ah. No, nadie va si le llamas así. Un granjero común. Espera, ¿esas hojas son rojas? La foto es todavía del aserradero. Muy bien. Pues voy a cortar y voy a reiniciar el stream.